Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon, entering my fourth straight hour being featured on this network. Join when we get fired on Monday. I'm sorry. I did my best.
You tried.
Yeah, just drove it into the ground. Joining me today, it is Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat reporter, Charlie O'Connor. What's going on today, Chuck?
It's good to be back here at normal time.
It is. It is.
Yesterday, obviously, was our 7 p.m. What If show. It seems like the general response I've gotten from people, both in the Discord and on social media, is I really don't want to watch the show.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to make me sad. And you know what? I go back to that classic tweet. The point of sports is not to win. It's to be sad in a group.
To be sad in a group. Exactly.
So we're just being sad in a group.
No,
That's all.
You know what annoyed me was I'm watching some of the Denver guys, the DNVR guys on
like what are their what ifs? Like,
on Twitter.
What if Elway won 4 titles?
Like they're on Twitter and it's like you're talking about, oh yeah, I was writing about what if we didn't get Patrick Waugh and that's so depressing. It's like, oh man, it must have been so hard for you guys to think about great things that did happen and then briefly contemplate, well, what if they didn't?
What if they didn't? Yeah.
Yeah, that must
such a tough life.
My heart really goes out to Colorado Avalanche fans and their 3 cups and list of Hall of Famers that they've seen over the last 30 years.
Yep.
That must be really, really difficult for you. My heart bleeds.
I feel like if I was doing a what if for the Avalanche, like one of my 10 would be, what if we didn't irrationally make our jerseys worse by changing the shade of blue?
Yeah. What if we still had awesome jerseys?
Yeah, that would be my what if.
And
that's how embarrassingly lucky they've been.
It's the Yeti foot, it's the shade of blue, and it's the font.
Yeah.
Like they had the awesome, like the names and numbers were stylized, and then they just were like, let's make great jerseys boring.
Yeah, their late 90s, early 2000s jerseys were perfect. And you didn't have to change them. Like, be the Red Wings. The Red Wings realize they have perfect jerseys. So you know what they don't do? Change it ever.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty simple idea, but you know, I guess if that really might be the worst thing that's happened to the Avs, like
might be.
Oh my God, we were the worst team in hockey and lost the lottery. We dropped to 4. Yeah, how'd that affect you? Oh, you got the best player in the draft. Oh, good for you. Anyway, that was the Tuesday, or that was the what if show. I was just getting annoyed, but it was fun. It was fun to do, and it aired last night at 7. Thank you for joining us. And for those of you who sent us super chats, we're going to get to those. Obviously, you probably figured out it was pre-recorded. I was in the chat while the show was going on.
Yeah.
I figured, but some people sent us the super chats anyway. We're going to get to them, but a couple of things to let you know about. First, hit that like button.
Gotta hit that like button.
40, okay. Obviously, the minimum 200 every day, or I don't get to eat. So come on.
Bill needs to eat.
I'm starving. That's doing the Gargano show. Like, I'm not going to get up in time to make it here, do some work, and also have had breakfast. Right. So by the time this comes around, I am, in fact, very hungry.
Fair.
So I would love for you people to hit that like button. Do that for us. We have new merch. That's right. You can check out our new merch. Go to allphly.com to see the Philly collection. Hit that merch tab, and there's some really cool stuff in here, as you can see. That Spectrum shirt comes in a bunch of colors. Everyone loves that 01 Sixers font. The step over is cool. There's the Italian and Irish flags.
The pretzel
There's
one
this monster
is very much either you love it or you think it's the dumbest thing in the world.
There are people who really like it.
Yeah.
There are people who do not.
Yeah.
I won't tell you which category I fall into, but I chose the Spectrum shirt when they told us all choose a shirt. And then there's the monster, the mashup.
Can't.
I'm not going to try.
You can't look away.
I love him. I think I do love him, but he's horrifying. The idea of like that guy has a pocket full of D batteries that he's going to throw at you.
It's the amalgamation shirt.
Yeah, I can't say that word. We have details on the Die Hard Q&A night.
Yeah.
It's happening here at the PHLY studio Monday, August 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. Go to allphly.com to RSVP. Get your tickets. I think it's a small fee, and we're donating it to charity. But it's a Die Hard only event. So come on and check that out. We're going to have some food, some drinks. We're going to talk some hockey. Who knows?
It's early August. No, who else is talking hockey?
Yeah.
Come and talk hockey with us. It'll be
Your
fun.
friends are probably like, bro, get a hobby.
Yeah,
Well,
that is probably what
don't.
all the people that are watching this show, their entire friend group is like, why are you talking about hockey? It's 100 degrees outside.
You just
Like,
hang
yeah,
out.
but how did Shabanov not sign with the Flyers, man?
Exactly.
It's
So
BS.
you're looking for someone to talk hockey with. It's going to be August. You can't find anyone. I know, because that's why we talk to each other every day.
That's true.
So come on in and hang out with us. We'll have some fun.
Do you think if I had a choice, I would choose to talk to this guy 5 days a week? Come on.
Someone has to talk to me about hockey. All right, so we'll be here for you for that. I am telling you now, Tuesday Reviews Day starts next week.
Oh, yeah.
That's
true.
You have 4 nights to watch the first season of Shoresy. I realize you're asking me to watch the first season of a show? Every season is 6 episodes. The episodes are 30 minutes or less. There might be a long one in there, here or there, but this is going to take you about 3 hours. I'm giving you 4 nights to watch.
All right.
3 hours of very good TV, and then we're going to talk about it on Tuesday Reviews Day coming up, starting next week.
So before I go into this, though, because I have not watched the show clearly, what is the relation between Shoresy and the other show?
The other show, Letterkenny, Shoresy is like a bit character in there.
Okay.
He's like one of the main characters in the show is the actor, and you never see his face in Letterkenny because it's the same guy just doing a funny voice.
Okay.
And he's just like he works at the rink that they play hockey at, and he's like a ref. He's just hilarious. He's just constantly chirping everybody. And then they turned that into a show.
Okay.
And it sounds like the dumbest idea ever. Like this falsetto voice dude who we never see his face because we know he's actually the main character. And it's awesome.
Okay.
It's so good.
But there's you don't need to have watched Letterkenny to get anything from Shoresy.
No,
Okay,
there's not like maybe a cameo or something from a guy. And like, hey, there's that. But it doesn't affect the plot at all.
Okay.
So that's that. It's on Hulu. Shoresy season 1. We're talking about it on Tuesday Reviews Day next week. All right, let's hit those super chats from yesterday's show, from the What If show that aired at 7 o'clock last night. We got a bunch of super chats, so we want to hit those for you now. And we started off with Definitely Maybe, who spent a big $20 here. If the Flyers drafted Yager instead of Ricci, I think this is the 1990 draft, in the Lindros trade, Quebec wanted Brendamore, which we don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
But for the purposes of this question, Definitely Maybe states they wanted Brendamore. The Flyers substituted Peter Forsberg. If it included Brendamore and not Forsberg, the 92-93 Flyers season would have been Lindros, Forsberg, Yager. That is a lot of fun to think about.
It seems like a big stretch on the what ifs. Now we
just did a whole show of what ifs.
We've moved from what ifs to fantasy draft. I feel like we are going too far into the realm of like, what if I could control every lever?
Listen,
with this
and
one.
like I do think it's a fun idea to think about a Lindros, Forsberg, Yager team, because that's like, I don't know, 3 of the 10 best players in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I will say I have always thought that Yager made it known he was only going to Pittsburgh. He kind of pulled a Michkov, kind of pulled a Lindros, and was like, no, don't do it. Now, I just found from when Yager got his jersey retired in Pittsburgh, he did a lot of media and everything. I think it was a year or 2 ago. I found an interview where he states, they asked him, like, did you tell the top 3 teams not to draft you? Did you tell everyone but Pittsburgh not to draft you? Pittsburgh got him at 5. He says, I think that's half right, half wrong. I said to the first 3 teams, which were Quebec, Vancouver, and Detroit, he told them, no, don't draft me.
Okay.
But Philly, he thought they liked him and never said, don't draft me.
Okay.
But I think they were just kind of unsure.
The Flyers were.
Yeah, the Flyers were just a little unsure. And this might have been a time period, like Bobby Clark is out and going to Minnesota, and there's just chaos, and they don't want the draft pick.
Flyers in chaos. Shocking.
Yeah. They don't want the draft pick to be someone who might never come over from Czechoslovakia at the time. So they take
Mike
Mike
also
Ricci.
right in the midst of the USSR falling apart.
Yes, it's 1990.
Yeah.
So like, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they just wanted to avoid it. But Yager states he never told Philly don't draft me, but he did tell the top 3 teams. And then, of course, right behind the Flyers, Pittsburgh is picking 5. They get Yager, and we all know how that worked out.
Yeah.
But
quite well. For
If this Brendan Moore Forsberg thing is true, and what Yager is saying is true, there is a world in which this could have occurred.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, Rob Brind'Amour, great player. We were talking about this.
Yeah,
we were talking about this before the show that Brind'Amour kind of has been, I wouldn't say retcon, but when you think of Rob Brind'Amour now, you think of the ultimate Selke guy. You know, that he's the captain, the two-way guy who, you know, was a great second line center, the ideal second line center. People forget that those early years in Philly, he was scoring 90 points a year. He was a clear-cut scoring 1C.
And this is, we say this a lot, like the idea of
he was really good.
How you place people in a depth chart. Like, yeah, Brendan Moore is a great 2C because you have legitimately the guy they're calling the next one at 1C. Brendan Moore, for 2/3 of the team in the league, is a perfectly acceptable 1C, especially at that point in his career.
Yeah.
But Peter Forsberg also, like, I would put him a level above Rod Brendan Moore, as good as he was.
I just think it's, and I would agree with that. I just think it's interesting that I feel like when you talk to people about Rob Brind'Amour, the impression I get is that he is viewed in retrospect as kind of being like, well, what if Sean Couturier in his peak was like that for 15 years? And in reality, like, Brind'Amour had years where he was over point per game significantly.
Yes.
It's kind of like how, like, we think of like Chris Chelios as like the big physical guy when he scored a lot of friggin' points, especially in the first half of his career.
No, I think that's a good comparison. All right, so that's that one. Next one here is from Gary B. He says, what if the league didn't strike in 05? I feel coming off the heels of the 04 one, they would have made a solid run. I just think, like, they were so old and beat up. Part of the run they went on was they all kind of knew it was their last shot.
Probably part of it. Yeah. It's so tough. That's such a tough what if, because I don't think the feeling would have been the same. Everyone knew that entire season there was the dark cloud of, this is so important because there's a real good chance we ain't going to have hockey next season.
Like, they're presenting the cup to Tampa, and the announcers are like, and we all know the significance of this because who knows?
Might be a while.
When the next time we're going to see this happen is. Like,
yeah.
I think like, the run they went on, like, Roenick and Primo clearly playing through concussions and injuries. Like, the whole team is hurt. They're out of defensemen. Sammy Kapanen moves to defense. He gets hurt. Like, they were all basically going, well, this is it. And really, you look at, Leclerc played another couple years. Roenick played another couple years. Primo tried to play out of the lockout.
Yeah, it's worth remembering, too, with Primo, that while he has this incredible playoff run and was awesome, there was a gap year and he still came back and still wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
So the chances of him being able to play the year before that, when he wasn't even able to play the year after that, like, that playoff run was the last we were going to see of Keith Primo, regardless of whether there was a season the next year or not.
He tried to come back, and it was the only reason. I think he's the guy who, it was like, the only reason he was even allowed out there is because he took his baseline test with a concussion.
Probably.
So guess what? When we tested him again, it went the same. And we were, he's fine.
Yeah.
And clearly he wasn't.
Or they just didn't test back.
Yeah, or they just...
testing may have been like, go back in the room and sit there for 5 minutes and then come back out.
I'm holding up 3 fingers. How many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah, exactly.
Get out there, kid.
Get out there.
Like,
you feel good? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
play.
like, who knows? But like,
we all know the way it was like before concussions were taken seriously.
Ago.
Yeah.
Like, before like a couple of years ago. But yeah, so it was a really good team. It's a really good core, but I just think they were so dead. I think they put everything they had into that run, and they came up a game short of getting to the final.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
All right, that's the Gary B. Another one from JH. Since McDavid and Draisaitl can't win a beer league game, that means they're washed, and Danny Briere might be able to get both of them in 349 days.
Keep it going, JH.
Did you see the so it's 348 now.
Right.
340, this was yesterday.
Right.
Did you see these highlights? They showed up to
I saw the highlights of them skating around.
Yeah.
I didn't see the highlights of the
They
game.
played a beer league game in what I guess is McDavid's hometown in Ontario.
Okay.
And a bunch of kids showed up. It was fun, but neither of them scored. And their team lost, I guess. And they asked the refs about it. They were like interviewing the refs after. That goalie stood on his head. Like, I've always heard dudes who show up to the beer league. It's like, we're not going to embarrass anybody.
Right.
We're not here to just run up the score. I'm hanging out with my buddy. I'll play a game. But then there's the one shift where they're like,
all right, let's like
you're
pop
not,
in 3.
I'm going to show you.
Yeah, like let's
I'm
pop.
going to show you for 18 seconds. There's nothing you can do.
Well, so here was my first thought when I heard that was if in a world where Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are both Philadelphia Flyers and have been Philadelphia Flyers for a while and have not yet won a cup, and they do that.
Oh, God.
You have the two things that become big things of Philadelphia discourse is, well, they can't even score in a beer league game. How do you expect them to win a cup? Overrated. And the other thing is, oh, so they're playing beer league games. They're going to get injured. That's like, well, that was getting beat in the Olympics, playing meaningless games.
We talked about this yesterday on Gargano, and me and VG were talking. I was like, as someone who played beer league for a little while, and just like, I, along with many of the people in that league, use it as a way to disguise drinking as exercise. If I'm out there with NHL players, I might try to take a shot. Like
you're a lunatic.
I might try to just catch Connor McDavid, and that's probably dangerous. If I'm the Oilers, I'm like, please no. After we win one, you can do this all you want. But it was cool that they went and did it. All right, another one here from Definitely Maybe, another $40. No Shabanov, no Fedotov, no Kolosov, maybe no Zamula. Grabenkin makes the Flyers at left wing a rushing comfort for Michkov. On a line with Michkov and Zegras, he had side strength, rugged net front, and protection. With Forster out with injury, and then he runs through the lines.
These are what like definite maybe. Thank you for all the money you're giving us. These lines are bonkers. Like, I don't know if Grabenkin is gonna make the team, and he's the first line left wing. That is, and I get the argument of like, yeah, he's a Russian comfort, he's ad size trade. Like, he might not be an NHL player. I'm not immediately putting him on line 1. That's crazy.
I like some of the tool. I like some of the tool set. I think the role he plays is something they could use, but like his AHL numbers weren't great. Why would they be good in the NHL?
I don't see that. The other thing that this low-key has annoyed me this summer. It's low-key annoyed me the number of people that just want to kind of toss Bobby Brink aside because he's not the shiny new toy anymore.
Yeah.
He was good last year. Why is he not in the starting lineup? Because he's not the shiny new toy, I guess.
Until Forster went on his scoring run and ends up with 25, and that's a great total. And you look at it and go 20 as a rookie, 25 sophomore. All right, there's something here. Until he goes on that scoring run, Bobby Brink had a considerably better season than Tyson Forster did.
Put some respect on Bobby Brink's name. He had a good year. He took a significant step forward, and I want to see more of Bobby Brink. I don't want to see him get traded because they got a 5'8", 24-year-old Russian winger, and I certainly don't want to see him sitting on the bench for game 1, even in a world where Tyson Forster isn't ready for game 1. Like, he's got to be in the lineup.
If there's a hockey trade to be made that involves Bobby Brink, I am in no way saying, oh, untouchable. I just don't know why you wouldn't want him in the lineup. Yeah. He's a good player. Yeah. All right, next one here from JH. He says, no Black Friday game is BS. We're going to get into the schedule after this, but I agree. I love that tradition of the Black Friday game. I think they're going to...
screw the NFL.
They're going to the Isles for Black Friday.
To Long Island.
Yeah. That's very boring.
Yeah.
I just like that we have it.
I don't want to go to Long Island.
No. Yeah, you have to go there. That stinks.
I might not go. I don't know.
It's the day after Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Give yourself a holiday.
Yeah, I might just watch it on TV. Yeah, do a show here.
Hang out here with me.
Yeah.
Do a Friendsgiving. Just me, you, and Brenna. All right, and from Brandon Dame, I guess. Just wanted to say thank you guys for being awesome and still coming in and talking puck. Even in the dog days of summer, best chemistry duo on the channel. Thanks for getting me through the workday. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
Well done watching it work. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Do it at work. Take advantage of your employer and the time they keep you captive.
Well, last night, Brandon was not at work unless he works nights. Maybe he works nights. It's possible. Today, though, if you are joining us, you are
done.
You're stealing some time for your employer, and we respect that.
We always respect time theft here. All right. Before we get to the schedule release part of this show, let's take a second, have a commercial break. All right. Time to tell you about Cherry Hill Jeep, because if you're looking for a Jeep or Ram truck, there's only one dealership in South Jersey who has been the market leader since 1967. As long as this hockey team's been in town, that's how long Cherry Hill Jeep has been on top. It's our friends at Cherry Hill Jeep who have you covered on the best selection, but more importantly, the best prices. And right now, that's right now, you can take advantage of the True Zero offer. $0 down payment, $0 first month payment, and $0 security deposit now through July 31st. So act fast. You can slide into a 2025 Jeep Wrangler this month for as low as $289 a month. Every Wrangler delivers strong drivetrains, innovative engineering, and quality components that underpin this icon's legendary heritage. Or you can pull away in the most luxurious and functional SUV, the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, also included in the True Zero offer. So stop in today and tell them PHLY sent you and receive an additional $1,000 for your trade-in. I know people buy Jeeps and Ram trucks elsewhere. I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Jeep or Ram truck today. Just minutes from all bridges, are available online 24/7 at cherryhilljeep.com.
Charlie, I walked into my garage yesterday and it was a sauna in there.
Yeah, this Philly heat, especially now, it's no joke.
This humidity is here. So what I ended up doing, I got like 20 bags of ice. I went into my backyard, filled a baby pool with them. Nice little inflatable I have back there. Did a little cold plunge.
Why didn't you just turn on your air conditioner?
I'm trying to be energy efficient. I hear the cold plunges are good for you. You seem like a cold plunge kind of guy. And I'm trying to save a little bit of cash as well.
Okay, well, instead of filling up a baby pool, and I don't believe you have any children, William, but instead of filling up a baby pool that you don't yet need, you could just check out Pico's energy saving rebates. They've got deals on Energy Star cooling equipment that actually work and cut your bills.
So no more ice?
It's the summer. Flyers aren't playing. They've already melted all the ice in the rink.
Yeah, that seems like what's up. I'm going to have to check this out. It seems like the way to go, Charlie. Thank you.
So just head to pico.com/ways to save. They've got tips for everything: heating, cooling, lighting, you name it.
Welcome back. Look at that wardrobe change. That was quick, man. Time to get into the Flyers schedule release part of today's show. And this is where we're going to do the big deal presented by Cherry Hill Jeep. This is a sarcastic one. Listen, go to Cherry Hill Jeep. Tell them PHLY sent you. All that good stuff. We love Cherry Hill Jeep. But making this a big deal is the sarcastic part of this. I think doing like this big schedule rollout like they did for an 82-game season in which every team plays in every building at least once is kind of a little silly.
I mean, do they make a big deal out of it, or is it just that we make a big deal out of it because it's something that happens when there's nothing else to talk about?
It seemed like a concerted effort with social media posts and everything. It's not like the NFL where it's like a whole show.
Right.
Also, I don't know if the NHL could find the NHL Network if they wanted to. So, like,
a very good point.
They didn't do anything there. I just think the whole thing is kind of funny. It's like, oh, it's just. But that said, I do think just kind of looking at the ebbs and flows of the season, when certain games are, home road splits, all that. I think there's interesting stuff in there. My first note, though. So we got the whole team schedule. Mm-hmm. We know when the seasons begin and the Olympic, all this stuff. I can't find the date of the trade deadline anywhere.
Well, that didn't come out on the schedule, but I believe I saw some people tweet about it.
Okay.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
I was looking last night because I was like, oh, you know what would make sense if we have the league schedule? We have that very important day. But I haven't been able to find it, at least. Like
I thought I saw some people tweeting about it on the day.
Some people tweeted about it. But that's that. But there are the key dates. So we're going to roll through some of the most interesting twists and turns of the 2025-26 Flyers schedule. My first note, 2025-26 sounds too futuristic. I have to keep thinking like that's not it. That's like 2 years away. That's not the season we're entering. It is, apparently. It will, in fact, be. It is currently 2025. Yep. This season is the 25-26 season. It threw me off when I was thinking about this last night. We start, of course, Charlie, at the beginning, because where else?
Well, the beginning is also the most interesting thing, because it might be the most interesting part of the schedule, because Flyers are not getting it easy to start the year.
They are not. Now they open up on the road with 2, but they only play 3 road games. I think they have 7 home games in October. So the travel isn't crazy.
Travel is very easy. A lot of games.
But
the teams.
Yeah, they open up Thursday night, October 9th in Florida against the defending champion Panthers. Now the Panthers season opens 2 days before that. They host the Blackhawks. They kick off the season 5 p.m. puck drop, banner unveiling. Flyers come into town 2 days after that. But then it's at Florida, at Carolina. The home opener is Monday, 10/13.
Also against Florida.
Hosting the Panthers. They
Also
played
Florida.
the Cup champs like 2 times in the first 3 games. And then they host the defending President's Trophy champions in Winnipeg. It's a pretty tough start to the season.
Yeah, and even the Wild, I know we dismissed the Wild, but they almost cracked 100 points last year.
They're a good team.
Like, there's a world, even though the Flyers are playing at home, there's a world where the Flyers are an underdog in each of their first 5 games.
Yeah, definitely.
Betting underdog at Bet365.
Without a doubt, I would assume
It's never ordinary.
Yeah, it's whatever the moment, never ordinary. No, I would assume without a doubt they're the underdog in each of the first 5 games.
Yeah, you maybe Minnesota, like
maybe home against Minnesota.
Yeah,
they
like
get the home
depending
ice.
how the Flyers play in the first 4. You know, if they're 3-1, 2-2, and they've beaten Florida twice and they've beaten Carolina, then maybe home game Minnesota's off to a little bit of a slow start. You're the favorite, but in each of those first 4 games, I can't imagine they're the favorite. They're the underdog in each of the first 4 and probably the first 5.
Yeah.
These are tough games. You know, Florida twice. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of a cup hangover. Maybe there's still some guys recovering from off-season surgeries and whatnot, but still Florida. No one wants to play Florida ever.
No, everyone said last year because the team was so beat up after the Cup, like, it's going to be a rough start to the season. This might be, and it was like, no, they're fine.
Yeah, they're Florida.
So, yeah, they're Florida.
Then the Flyers always struggle against the Hurricanes.
Of course.
Because they just
own them in
they
the
never
last...
have the puck against them. And then Winnipeg, the Flyers have had some good games against Winnipeg recently, and I'm not expecting Winnipeg to be as good this year record-wise as they were last year.
It would be surprising.
But they still won the President's Trophy last year. They're a good team.
Yeah, like the Rangers won the President's Trophy and then missed the playoffs, and that's like the second time it's happened in like 50 years or something.
Doesn't
Like
happen often.
It's not a regular thing where you come back down to earth that far. They're probably not gonna, like, good chance Hellebuck doesn't win a 3rd straight Vezina. You know, that's rare. He's eventually gonna, the numbers come back down a little, but they're still awesome. Like, they're way better than the Flyers.
It's true.
There's a couple of interesting. So that Monday 10-13 game where it's the home opener hosting the Panthers. That will be the first official game at Xfinity Mobile Arena.
Ooh,
now, obviously, there's some preseason games and whatnot, but this is the first game of consequence that will occur at the newly named, Wells Fargo Center. So that's interesting. Couple other October notes just around the league. All 32 teams will be playing on October 11th and October 28th. Full schedule, 16 games. The games on October 28th, they're going to be staggered, and it starts with a 6 p.m. puck drop between the Penguins and Flyers.
I'm just glad that we're not getting an 11 p.m. start like we did the first time they did this when they played Vegas.
It was Vegas, and it was the last game of the slate. They are kicking it off this time.
Why would you torture an East Coast fan base by making them stay up until 11 p.m. for the puck drop of a game?
Because they knew we would.
Yeah.
That's why.
You're not wrong.
It's a bad team with that 11 o'clock puck drop, and the psychos that still root for this godforsaken franchise will stay up and watch the FNL.
And wasn't it right after they lost the playoff series to the what was it, 2023, the Phillies?
I believe so.
They just lost Game 7, and then right after that, you have the Flyers play Vegas.
That sounds very familiar.
I think that was what happened. Yeah,
of course, because nothing goes right.
We just got to be as miserable as possible.
So 10:25, they could potentially be hosting #1 pick Matthew Schaefer when the Isles come to town. That's a 12:30 p.m. afternoon puck drop on a Saturday. I don't know if Schaefer's going to make the team, but I don't know. Everyone said, like, oh, he's so much better than everyone else in this draft. Maybe. He only did play 17 games last year.
It's pretty rare when first overall picks don't make a team the first year. Owen Power didn't, so it does happen, but it's pretty rare. With Schaefer, the fact that he missed most of this season does make you wonder if it would be the smart thing if they gave him another year in juniors just to tear it up. But First overall picks usually make the team, so there's a decent enough chance that Matthew Schaefer will be out there.
Yeah. Crosby comes to town for the first time on Tuesday, 10/28. That is that 6 p.m. puck drop.
Yeah, everyone just can't wait for that.
I think it is important if you are interested in such. Listen, I will never respect Sidney Crosby because I think it would be disrespectful of his legacy to do that. He has killed us for 20 years, and I am a Flyers fan, so I hate him. And I think that's the way we should feel. And it would be diminishing of what he has done to us to be like, oh, he's a legend, love him. But I do think like I want to go see him if I was a person who enjoyed going to games or, didn't have duties to be here.
Right.
Like this is a living legend. It's going to be over soon. Catch him while you can. That's just my thought.
Will it be over soon, or is he just never going to retire?
What if he just plays till he's 52? Like he did just put up 90 points.
He's still real good.
Like he's still awesome.
Doesn't have to retire.
Yeah. So yeah, they have the 7 of the 10 games in the opening month at home. That's fun. At least the travel isn't bad, although schedule pretty tough there. We go to November now, and we have a little reunion week to open the month of. Is this November?
This is November.
I might have it wrong. Oh, it's the second week. So they have Calgary coming in. Yeah, it's Calgary coming in, and at the end of that week, Giroux comes in. So it's a nice little reunion. See Frost and Farabee in Philly for the first time.
The
as
reunion
visitors.
things, I know people get into it. I just roll my eyes. Like, is it that big of a deal?
It's not that big of a deal. But
We've seen Claude Giroux play in Philadelphia in another jersey like 6 times at this point.
this wouldn't be that big of a thing for me. Like I'd note it. Yeah, Giroux coming to town, but I think it's interesting that it's the same week that Frost and Farabee. It's like 6 days apart.
See, for me, that doesn't even register to me. Like, whatever, Frost and Farabee are coming back. Cool. They've already been back once. Lawton's coming back. What?
Did we play them last year?
Yeah, I believe so.
I thought we went there. I have no.
I
memory.
interviewed them here.
All right.
So I'm fairly certain we played them. I think so.
I mean, if you interviewed him, Did you go to Calgary?
No,
I didn't think so.
But to me,
no memory of that.
To me, the most interesting part of the early schedule for me, is I want to see the first battle between Matvei Michkov and Ivan Demidov. That is
the Montreal game.
Way more interesting to me than like, oh, let's let Scott Lawton get his ovation. Like, cool. Like everybody likes Scott. Like, let's see Claude Giroux play the 7th time not in a Flyers uniform in Philadelphia. I'm over it. But I want to see Demidov and Michkov go at it. That actually has juice for me.
I already completely forgot that Lawton was on the Leafs. And I pointed out like 2 of the other 4 games that week. I'm like, oh, it's reunion week. And totally forgot that there's a Lawton game in there as well. But yeah, that Montreal game. So was he, when we went to Montreal, he still hadn't been there.
He hadn't
That's
yet
crazy.
signed.
Near the end of the season.
He hadn't gotten signed.
Yeah.
He came up for the last few games and then played in the playoffs. So we've yet to see a Michkov-Demidov battle, and I am very excited to see that one. Just because I don't get the sense they dislike each other by any means, but they are the 2 Russian phenoms. And obviously the Flyers and Habs fan bases have been comparing the 2 against each other forever, especially because the Habs passed on Michkov, and there's been a lot of back and forth snipes from both fan bases since then. It may be a more fan-created thing, but it's also just 2 really exciting young players. I want to see if they rise to the occasion to try to one-up each other. That's fun to me.
Back and forth lacrosse goals, stuff like that.
Be cool.
McDavid's Oilers, they come in for what I assume is going to be a national TV game. It's a Wednesday at 7:30 on.
Yeah, that would make sense.
November.
Wednesday's the national.
Wednesday's national.
Day.
It's later start time. So I assume that's the TNT game or whatever, ESPN game.
You're getting a franchise in the Flyers that tends to drive good ratings in a big market, and then you have an opportunity to showcase Connor McDavid in a game where he's probably going to score a lot of points.
Several.
Well, maybe not. Noah Cates is Connor McDavid's kryptonite. Maybe you match Noah Cates up against him.
Michkov played some good hockey against the Oilers last year.
It gives Dan Hilferty a chance to, secretly, show up. Oh, hi, Connor. Had no idea I was going to run into you.
Bump into him in the hallway. How's the wife? How's it going? Yeah, that was a rough. You should have a little more support, man. That Stanley Cup final, it would have been nice to have like a Matvei Michkov in the fold for you. You know,
I'm just letting you know, Connor, we have the best boring interior decorators in the world in Philadelphia. The best.
Free internet, cable, and cell service for life. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so that's the Oilers come in on Wednesday, November 12th. Now, December opens with a 6-game homestand, and then they're on the road for the rest of the month.
This is such a bizarre month.
Except there's one random home game.
They come back right before Christmas to play the what is essentially
Vancouver.
It's the Vancouver game. But then the next day they run right back out.
Go to
for
Chicago.
the Festivus game on the 23rd.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a bizarre December schedule in that you have the longest homestand of the year to kick it off, a 6-gamer. And then they don't see home again until they come back on, well, aside from that one-off, really until they come back for the Cutter game in January.
From December 14th through January 3rd, they play 10 games. 9 of them are on the road.
Bonkers.
Their home game is the first half of a back-to-back. Then they have to immediately go to Chicago.
Right.
It's a crazy schedule. Obviously, the Disney on Ice trip, we always want to know where they're going. It's the late-night trip. It's over the holiday. So it technically starts with that game in Chicago. But then they're off for the league's Christmas break. They come back. They are...
So they'll presumably at least be home.
Yeah, they'll at least be home for
Christmas,
that.
yeah.
But then they go out on the road after Christmas. They're going to go to Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton. They have back-to-backs. This is the rough one here, Charlie. December 30th and New Year's Eve, 10 p.m. against Vancouver, 9:30 at Calgary.
Yeah, it's rough.
Ooh, Vince might be putting my day off in now for that 9:30 puck drop against Calgary on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's rough.
We'll see.
We'll see.
How
we'll have to talk that one.
We'll see how that one all works out.
Yeah, we'll talk that one.
Maybe we pre-record the post game and we just guess what's going to happen.
That would be actually a very funny bit if we try to do a post game without having seen the game, and then we're like, so how about that play? How about that game from Dustin Wolf? Man, he's a great goalie.
Stood on his head.
So good.
Morgan Frost. I can't believe he fought Matvei Michkov. Just make stuff up. see how many people tune in.
What comes through in terms of the predictions.
We have such a ridiculous audience. They're going to remember us saying this. And I bet they're looking forward to it. This is a pitch I'm making to you now, Vince. We are going to pre-record a post game and guess for an hour about what happened on New Year's Eve. I
think our crazy fun listeners would get a kick out of that.
That'd be really freaking
like,
funny.
what did they get right? What did they get wrong?
That would be really effing funny. We should maybe think about doing that. All right, so then they come back after the Disney on Ice trip. It's January. They're back for a 4-game homestand, and I can't think of a more perfect date for this trader to come to town than January 6th.
Okay, that's good.
Cutter comes home again for his welcome party on January 6th when the Ducks are in town. And then they have like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. They have a 2-game set against the Lightning. It is not a home and home. Both are in Philly. I find that odd.
It's very weird. The fact you never see, and it's not a true back-to-back. It's not like they're playing one night and then the next night. But it's still like Tampa is just going to kind of hole up in Philly for like 4 days, I guess.
Just nice little Philly vacation.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like you play in Tampa, you get to spend your winters in like nice weather. Yeah, we got to spend 4 days in Philly in January. That sounds like a great time. Of course, like it might be 70 degrees. Who the hell knows? There's not seasons anymore.
Yeah.
I will say, I just assumed, because the Disney on Ice trip, they always go out west, but you don't know exactly where west. It could be California and the desert, or it could be Western Canada and that whole thing. I kind of assumed, now, I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Philly sports trip to, California's, maybe see Cutter, that whole situation.
That was the plan.
That was the plan.
The timing isn't the greatest.
It's not.
But we'll see how that works.
But I just assumed, since we're going to be maybe going on that trip, it would be over the Christmas break or be over the Christmas holiday, and I would have to tell Ava, like, yeah, so I'm going to Disneyland the day after Christmas. See ya. And I don't think that would have gone over all that well.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I was pretty happy when I saw what this Disney on Ice trip is, and it's not the Ducks game. That's not till later in the season.
Yeah, that is. I guess that's a good thing.
I know you travel with the team all the time.
I might not go on that post Christmas trip. Maybe. I haven't fully decided yet, but I took a look at the schedule, and that might be a trip that I skip, the Western Canada one. But we'll see. We'll see. And the double Tampa games are weird, though. I will say that.
League note before we do the next commercial break. On January 2nd, the Winter Classic will occur because they just can't do it on New Year's Day anymore. They do it New Year's Eve, the day after.
Because of college football, right?
They're so afraid of everything. Yeah. Like, who cares? Just make it the New Year's Day tradition and say we're not afraid of stuff. But they so clearly are. Anyway, the Rangers are playing in it.
Okay.
It's in Florida. The Panthers are hosting the outdoor game this year. The Winter
Classic. It's at the Bucs Stadium, right?
Yeah. I think that's...
No, it's not at the Bucs Stadium. It's at the... because that would be for Tampa.
Tampa is hosting one as well on February 1st.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So where is that, at the Marlins Stadium?
It is, I believe, the Marlins
Stadium. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Okay. Probably the Marlins Stadium.
Yeah. It's hosting I'm pretty sure it's the Marlins Stadium. I am intrigued by the idea of an outdoor game in Florida. I think that's kind of cool.
They've done outdoor games in warm weather areas, though, and they found a way to make it
They
work.
did one in Vegas in '92, and actually there's been like really good oral histories written about it. It's like, this was actually, it could have gone even better, but we screwed a bunch of stuff up.
They've done games in Cali.
Yeah.
So they've done it.
Yeah, they had that game at Dodger Stadium that Kiss played at. That was awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it'll work. It just the idea of an outdoor hockey game in Florida is very cool, and there's going to be a couple starting with the Winter Classic, hosted by the Stanley Cup champs. All right, now let's throw it to our next commercial break. Got to tell you about our friends at Ace Hardware Home Services, because if you have an outlet you said you'd fix last summer, guess what? It's been a year. One more YouTube tutorial is not going to turn you into a licensed electrician. You got to call Ace Hardware Home Services, because now they're not just the helpful hardware folks, they're also the helpful home service and repair folks. From plumbing and electrical to heating and cooling, they've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. They're Ace Hardware Home Services. They're bringing helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, now to your front door, from Philly to the Jersey Shore. Listen, we all know it has been steaming around here lately. The humidity is roughly 420%. It's killing us. Luckily, you got that air conditioning. But if you're having air conditioning problems, I can't think of a more miserable existence than living without that central air blasting in this heat. You got to call Ace Hardware Home Services. They are the absolute best. And visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. And while we're here, it's time to talk some Doodat. That's right, Doodat Dental, one of our newest partners here at PHLY. They want to tell you, they want to make sure you know that your smile says a lot about you. And so they want us to introduce you to the team that helps you say exactly what you want with your smile. It's the Doodat Dental Group. This team has been trusted to care for one of this city's greatest assets, the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right. Now entering their 5th season as the official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles, Dr. D and his team have proudly served Philadelphia and its fans for over 20 years. They do it all. They've got the robotic implants and Invisalign, all the way to veneers, emergencies, and so much more. They're locally owned and operated. Dr. D is a proud graduate of North Penn High School and Temple University School of Dentistry. T for Temple U. Love it. His commitment to the health and confidence of our community runs deep. Whether you're an MVP or just a lifelong fan like me, this is the team you want caring for your smile. Check them out at PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com and discover how you can smile like the birds. All right, we are back talking NHL schedule. I like seeing, as much as I made fun of it, like, oh yeah, talk to schedule. They're going to play 82 games. All the teams will be involved. There are like the pivot points of the season.
Yes.
Different trips, where they go, like weird things like, yeah, two consecutive home games against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
It's odd.
For whatever reason. Like,
don't usually see things like that.
Yeah, we need to play them 3 times. Let's get 2 out of the way right here. But
I think it's worth noting, because one thing that does often happen, especially on Flyers Twitter, on the online discourse, is there's a lot of like, woe is us, we got screwed over by the schedule discourse. It's just always what happens. And The Flyers, in fairness, do often get screwed over a bit schedule-wise. Now, they benefit from the fact that by being on the East Coast, their travel is
They have
just less demanding.
one of the lightest travel schedules in the league.
In terms of mileage,
Yes.
in terms of how far they go. Obviously, they have a bunch of teams locally in a way that, teams in Western Canada don't necessarily have. Even teams down south don't necessarily have.
Dallas is like out there by themselves.
They got their trips are longer, and that does help the East Coast teams sometimes in terms of getting free agents, because it's like I don't really like traveling that much. It does help.
This has come up a little bit recently, like veteran guys who still have it, but are like, I can't do the travel that Utah does. I can't do the travel that Calgary does. Like, that is going to lead to my body breaking down faster. And like, now that I'm 33, I got to take every advantage I can. So I am signing with the Rangers or whatever.
But going back to the point I was making, the Flyers have 14 back-to-backs, which at first glance you think, oh, that's a lot. And it is. It's more than the average. But the average number of back-to-backs for a team, I guess the median is the better way to put it, is 13. The Flyers, 14. It's one more than the median. They're a bit above the median, but not dramatically so. There are 5 teams that have 16 back-to-backs. Right. There are 5 teams that have 15 back-to-backs. The Flyers are one of 4 teams that have 14 back-to-backs. So more than most, but not as bad as some others. And then if you're talking about the tired and rested matchup, so a tired matchup would be when the Flyers play the night before and then they play again, and then they're playing against a team that had off the night before. So they're playing a rested team. They are a tired team. The Flyers have 10 of those. And then they have 8 where they have the advantage, where they are the team that is rested going against a tired team. So their net is -2, which isn't great. It's not 0. It's not certainly a benefit, but it's also not the worst. The worst teams have a -6 net. San Jose is the team that gets hit the worst on both fronts. They have 16 back-to-backs, and they have a -6 net in terms of tired versus rested matchup. So, look, San Jose may have an intriguing young core, but they were the worst team in the league by far last year, and now they have the worst schedule, at least in these regards. Schedule disadvantage is probably the best way to put it. So NHL did not cut them any slack, given the fact that they had the worst record in hockey last year.
In late January, the Flyers go on another trip with a few late starts. They're in Vegas, Utah, and Colorado, and all I thought was decent jersey matchups. I'm looking forward to those. February, Charlie. This is
You said it right.
Did I?
I think so.
I don't even know what I said.
I thought you sounded close to February.
God bless the Olympics. We have a 19-day Olympic break, 19 days in the middle of the season with no pre and post games. I am already very much looking forward to this. The Flyers will host Ovi on Tuesday, February 3rd, and Giroux on Thursday, February 5th. And then they don't play again until they're in Washington on the 25th. I am so excited for this. I love the Olympics for this reason alone. 19 days off without a game.
Yeah. I might not have off, maybe. We have discussed the possibility. That said, we would have to get credentialed. I don't know how likely it is that the Olympics will credential PHLY, but if they do, perhaps.
That's discrimination.
Yeah.
They haven't announced the date of the trade deadline yet, which is odd to me, at least in terms of the schedule release. Once they get back from the break, Charlie, 18 games in 35 days coming out of the Olympic break.
March, even into April, is rough. I break this down in my my article I put on allphly.com for diehards only. Check that out if you're a subscriber. But yeah, 16 games in 28 days to close out the year. If the Flyers are still in the mix, they better have banked some energy, because they're going to need it for that stretch run. It is grueling.
I know that they're and listen, every team's kind of going to have this, because this is what happens when you have a 3-week break in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's not like the Flyers are going to be alone.
This isn't oh man, we got screwed here schedule-wise. It's
everybody got screwed here schedule-wise.
The players really want to go to the Olympics. The NHL realizes, like, being in front of a national TV audience with all of our best players up against each other, that might be good marketing for the league. Like, TJ Oshie, one of the most, nice second line player. Oh yeah, he's like the most famous guy for 3 years in the whole league because he scored some goals in a shootout. Maybe we should do that again. Maybe we should go back. They are, but this is the price you pay after the Olympics. the end of the second month of the year, basically through the end of the season, they play like more than once every other day. Like it's it's more games than there are like twice as many days or whatever.
And I think the thing too that will be tough on the Flyers is the amount of times they're on the road to close out.
Yes.
They're doing a lot of travel. So they have that trip in mid-March, Anaheim, LA, San Jose. That's a cross-country trip. Those take a lot out of you. And then they do have a 2-day break after that trip. Then they go Columbus. But there are a lot of road games sprinkled in here. They got a 1-gamer in Detroit. That's the start of a back-to-back where they'll be traveling back to face Dallas, one of the best teams in the league. Then they go to Washington, then Detroit at home, then the Islanders on the road, then Boston, then Jersey, Detroit, Winnipeg. Randomly in April, they go to Winnipeg. Sure. And then they come back home for Carolina, Montreal. But this is not we're going to just mostly be at home, mostly be staying local. Like, they got some far trips in the midst of what will be a very busy schedule just in terms of games and days.
I feel like last season, in like, it was either maybe January or February, it was, all right, these are the last, like this little stretch here. Guess what? Flyers After Dark is over. There's no more late start games and stuff like that. But they're going out west in mid-March. Like, that's what the Anaheim game is, like you said. Like, I feel like that's different than usual. It's not that much, like, they have the western part of their travel wrapped up by then.
Usually, the way it's been recently, and I know this obviously because I go to most of these trips, but usually there's a Florida trip in March.
Yeah, that's like around the deadline.
Yeah, usually there's a Florida trip in March, and usually the other Western trip is in like November or December.
Yeah.
You obviously have the Disney on Ice one, which is a big one, but usually there's another one. Like last year, the Western trip was in October to start the year, but in other years, it's been like, early December or early November. This year, they have the Florida trip in November, right before Thanksgiving. And then in replacement for that, they have the California, the second Western trip is in mid-March, which is weird because they usually don't have it that late in the year. But I mean, look, it's not the end of the world for us. If we go out there, I'm gonna love going out there. March, it's still pretty cold here, so get some rays. But from a travel standpoint, especially for the players, having to acclimate to a new time zone and then have to come back across the country and then quickly reacclimate during a run where I think ideally they are not yet eliminated from playoff contention. The games will still matter at that point. It's gonna be demanding for them. It's gonna be tough on them.
No, and this is, listen, it's a young team, inexperienced in pressure situations. If they are in the mix, like, all this is gonna weigh in. Like, while the number of games is gonna basically be the same for everybody, because this is what happens when you take 3 weeks off. This team, with the amount and like distance of travel, that could be an issue.
I got to stop this for a second.
Okay,
we're at 12:52. We got 141 likes.
This is
Those are rookie numbers. This is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
We need to be at 200. We're getting close to the end of the show. Come on, gang. Boost those numbers.
I really hope we do that Anaheim trip in mid-March. But I am very much so in January when Cutter comes in. Do you think it's the same? It's a little toned down. Maybe we turn it into more of a thing.
Well, see, here's the thing. Number one, I do think he's going to get booed like crazy. I don't think it will be as vociferous as it was the first time, but I still think it's going to be a thing. But the other thing that gives this matchup juice is this will be the first time Zegras plays his old team.
Yes.
And you know that Trevor Zegras is going to want to show up Pat Verbeek. He's going to want to show them what they're missing out on by giving up on him and deciding he wasn't part of the core. So I think that game's going to have a lot of juice, but not just because of Cutter. There's going to be some other things going on because the Zegras edition adds something to that. Are we going to... Are we expecting to have the fans chanting at Ryan Poehling, Trevor's better? No, but I do think it's going to matter to Trevor Zegras.
Yeah, that's how good do you think the Ryan Poehling tribute video is?
He'll get a tribute video.
He absolutely
He'll get a tribute video.
He absolutely will
He's
get
a well-liked player.
100%. He will get a tribute video. I always find it funny. It's like, he was here 2 years. He was fine.
He was a perfectly acceptable player. I think he was generally well-liked by fans. I know he was very well-liked in the locker room. He was a very popular guy. No, they will absolutely give him a tribute video.
He's the one who said Jamie's better when he gave him the belt.
That is true. You're right.
Yeah, so I do think there will be some Trevor's better, but they'll be directed at
Cutter.
Yeah. Everyone likes
Yeah,
Ryan.
it's not directed at Ryan Paley. Ryan, you're cool.
You're fine.
You're
Love you, Ryan. You got
F you, you're cool.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap up today with some super chats. Was there anything else about the schedule you wanted to get in? I know you had the whole article. I think we broke it down pretty
I
well.
think we broke it down pretty well. I think we're
right.
going on good time here.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping for. All right, some super chats. And
we only got two.
Only two.
I was
Jesus.
expecting at least 5 or 6.
We're going to have to fill.
Yeah, we might have to.
All right, from Gary Peterson. What if you were Danny Briere and inherited a coaching staff consisting of Dave Haxtell, Ian LaPerriere, and Rocky Thompson? How would you assign roles?
Well, there's an obvious answer to this question.
You're fired.
Yeah, we're fired, or you're like, okay, you are player development coach.
Yeah.
You are a senior advisor.
senior
in the
advisors.
back room.
Yeah.
Like, they could do that.
You're all senior advisors. You
I mean,
use...
they could have moved Lappy back to a development coach, although he very much appears to want to be a head coach.
Yeah.
He's still in the organization, obviously, but it's been made abundantly clear that this is a placeholder job for him until he can get a head coaching job, maybe coaching another AHL team, maybe an assistant coaching job in the NHL if somebody thinks highly enough of him. So Lappy is still part of the organization now, but I think everyone knows that probably not long for it. I based on what I've heard, and I don't think I'm the only one that's reported this, Lappy wasn't exactly thrilled with how that whole played out. And I know most people in our viewership are not going to be especially sympathetic towards Ian LaPerriere, but based on what I've heard, it doesn't seem like Ian LaPerriere is like he's not gonna turn down an offer because he really wants to stay with the Flyers. He's staying with the Flyers because they like him personally and they want him to be able to cash a paycheck and still be involved. And he's got a lot of friends in the organization. But this is very much a you're here until you find something better situation.
This is like a work program. Sometimes it seems like, but anyway,
I mean, Rocky's coaching an AHL team. He's going to be the AHL head coach for the Islanders, right? For Bridgeport.
great for him.
Yeah. So clearly, people around the league still think high of him.
He's got to be better than Lou's kid, who just stinks. The 60-year-old nepo baby.
That is fair. Yeah, you're a 60-year-old nepo baby. That's pretty embarrassing.
Your teams are regularly terrible.
Also, low key, I did get an enormous kick out of the fact that Lou is gone. And immediately, none of the Islanders games start at 7:30 this year. Like, that whole thing was just Lou has the power to demand whatever he wants. Yeah. And the entire league office, Bill Daly, Gary Bettman's just like, okay, Lou, fine. You get all your games at 7:30 because we know you're going to complain every day until the end of time if you don't get what you want. That's all that was.
Meanwhile, Darsh is like, I'm trying to go out after the game. Let's go
done.
here. Let's go. Can we get him at 6:30? All right. From Via Negativa. This is a vote for you guys to please do the pre-recorded post-game show and then just never address what you got wrong and double down.
Yeah, like the next show we do, we have to briefly have asides mentioning like, oh, do you remember that goal Morgan Frost scored? And he like got hurt in the first period and didn't play. Yeah, it was a great goal. He dangled through the entire Flyers defense. That was embarrassing, guys.
We absolutely put out your 3 stars as if they're real, like on Twitter. Idea. And like,
wouldn't it be great if I got them right?
Charlie, if you got them right, it would turn into, guess what, bud? We're betting on the next game.
That's fair.
All right. Yes, I really want to do this idea now. All right. And from JH, it's so dumb. I love it. It's really if there's no Black Friday game next year, we riot. Perhaps it is a 1-year aberration.
I do get a sense this is a 1-year aberration.
Like, just based on, I'm going to try to get us out of here before overtime. But like how they mixed up, like you said, the Florida trip and the West, and like some things are just different. Maybe that is simply a function of the Olympics. And it'll go back to more normal, what we're used to when it's not a 3-week break in the middle of the season.
I would be shocked if the Black Friday game is not a thing again next season. I think Dan Hilferty in particular knows how important this is to the Flyers fans and that he doesn't want to set the precedent. This was a one-time thing because the Eagles are playing at the link on Black Friday and it would have been a disaster. But that's the reason. The reason is they're playing the Bears and it would have been a total logistical nightmare. That's why the Black Friday game is not in Philly. But I definitely think this is a 1-year aberration.
They just fear the NFL so bad.
Well, this is less fear in the NFL
know,
and
it's
more
just
fearing
traffic.
it being an absolute dumpster fire in the South Philly complex.
The link needs the Xfinity Mobile Arena's parking lot. Like, I don't know if they could do it without it. All right. And that's all the time we have for you on this Friday edition of PHLY Flyers. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Follow us here. Follow us on socials. Follow the pod. And make sure you'll watch Shoresy. Tuesday Reviews Day starts this Tuesday. Shoresy Season 1. All right. Until then, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.